Our next presenter is going to be our Mayor, Donna Johnson, from the Village of Libertyville. Donna.
First of all, I'd like to thank the Chamber for this annual event that they put on, and for you guys to be so attentive during things that you find pertinent and things that you don't find pertinent. But more importantly, at this time, I want to acknowledge, no one does anything without having a great supporting cast. And so I'd like to acknowledge my people that are here supporting me today. And let me first start out with the hardest working man around in Libertyville that wears two hats, my senior trustee, Scott Adams, as well as the president of the chamber. So thank you, Scott. And at this time, I'd also like to acknowledge the trustees that are here that support us, Pete Garrity and Jimmy Connell, thank you. But most importantly, and I couldn't do anything without her, which is my village administrator, Kelly Amade, and my deputy administrator, Ashley Engelman, who's here. And we already had acknowledged my economic development director, Heather Rowe. So thank you, everyone. The most important thing we need to take in context as we go through these things, the impact of COVID on all of us, okay? What are the permanent changes in behaviors? Social skills have changed, they will never go back, so don't kid yourself. Purchasing habits have changed, they will never go back. Career and workforce stability will never be the same, okay? Work ethic is not as strong, and I don't think it's ever going back. Customer service has evaporated. It's non-existent, okay? So those are the permanent long-term impact that is the backdrop for some of the things I'm going to talk about today. Short-term, but for how long? Inflated salaries. Some of you are from industries that are very marketable today. Catch the wave, but at some point it's going to stop. Supply chain, real big issue. Hopefully, we don't know when that's going to end. We hope that shortens up very quickly. Why are these things important to each of our communities and our roles as mayor? It makes it very difficult for us to forecast the future. But more importantly, it tells us that as we partner with our small businesses, we try to go through recovery. And I really don't know what that means, because I don't know if we'll ever fully recover. I think we're just going to branch out and create new terrain and new territory. So for me as mayor, and for my fellow mayors that are here, I know Mayor Lentz has done a lot over there in Mundelein. I know Byrne's done a lot in Green Oaks. And even though Roger's not here and he has a representative, I love Roger, because Roger is one of those like me that's going to push ahead and get it done no matter what. So having said all those things, just remember when you're being critical of us and trying to say, why haven't they gotten that done? Why have they been visionary on that? Know that our jobs layered over with COVID-19 impact that I discussed is very, very challenging. We have to read the future, and that's not easy to do. So, having said that, what I want to say more than anything is, before we move into the slide, the impact of COVID-19 on traditional sources of revenue, the biggest headache of all of us that sit as mayors. Because guess what? Now we got to figure out what can we rely on and what has stability. And then the second thing is, for all of our small businesses, collaboration. We feel your pain, but we don't know all the challenges that you're confronted with. So it's important to us as leaders to reach out and have that kind of communication. So all those things having said, you need to give all of my fellow mayors an applaud to deal with all those issues. So let's start out with what I deem to be the hit list, which are milestones and accomplishments during my one-year tenure, coming up to the 4th, which was several weeks ago. We completed the sale of the former Golf Learning Center to Midwest Industrial. That was critical because our sports complex, it's no secret to anybody, has been a significant financial drain for all of us in Libertyville. So to accomplish this task is quite a milestone. We preserved the indoor sports complex impact by COVID by negotiating a purchase agreement with the Canlin Group to include a lease with an option to purchase. And that was really significant because it's difficult to come and conduct due diligence when the borders are shut down. And so you don't want the deal to fail. So a milestone for us is that we preserve the deal, and we hope it moves forward at some point to a purchase. I instituted, and anybody who knows me knows, I'm a champion of my police officers. They are a valuable, valuable resource. And so what we did when I came in is I instituted a dual deputy chief model that our chief, Ed Ronconi, supported. So not only do we have a deputy chief that supports operations and interfaces with our residents on a daily basis and attends events, we also have a deputy chief that handles administration. And with the marketplace dwindling in terms of quality candidates, should I ever lose one, I still have one in the queue that understands how our business operates. What a great model, and more importantly, we try to do all we can to support our police officers. So know they're a priority in our community, along with fire and first responders. Breakout groups. We have breakout groups and discussions with our local business owners. We felt that was imperative. We needed to know whether our surface observations were critical and key. You can't help people if you don't know what their issues are. So the small group business groups gave us that communication. And we also wanted to teach our business owners that it's not just a competitive arena. You can learn from each other. So they had the opportunity in these breakout sessions to hear what the others are going through and how they each addressed it. So we think that was a great milestone. And then we implemented our stormwater management utility fee as a funding source to deal with the 100-year rain and the 2017 flooding. So we definitely, and it's gonna help improve some of our infrastructure over 15 years. And then something that Heather and our group worked on, and that is really good, is our 92 high five grants to local businesses, ranging individually in grants from $500 allocation to $1,000 allocation. And while the amounts don't seem that significant, when you're trying to hold on and keep your doors open, the fact that your community is trying to support you and give you an opportunity in terms of grant and funding, we applaud that, and that's a milestone that we're very, very proud of. So now moving on to helping our car dealerships, which are one of our huge sales revenue sources in our community. So what we did in terms of partnership, Hyundai, I always don't know if it's Hyundai or Hyundai, but Hyundai is coming in to our community, but the beauty of it is that originally they were going to try to find an independent location to bring in that dealership. And how collaboration helps is our community development team and our economic development person showed them how they could use an existing parcel on their existing land to expand their dealership footprint. So we believe that that is definitely a coup. They are very happy about it, and they're breaking ground very, very shortly. Moving into our Libertyville Mile of Cars, as you know, I won't get into all the names. We've had 2 new dealerships come in, Tesla, Hyundai. We're very proud of that. We're proud of our existing dealerships. They really collaborate with us. They do a lot in the community. And as we said, they're one of our top sales revenue generating sources. And then when I referred to the deal that we closed on Camlin on just the golf center area, that was 2 of 170,000 in square foot buildings. So that's what Midwest Industrial is taking over and acquired from us. It's going to be available for sale or lease to office and manufacturing type tenants. So we're very proud of that. And that site work is going to commence late this month. So we're right on the heels of it. We have one last parcel that we're still trying to unload. It's 2.77 acres. So if you know anybody who's interested in that, let us know. Any brokers that will work on that issue. Okay, and now going back to Camlin Sports again, what they do is they offer tournaments, clubs, general recreation, camp, and fitness center uses. But more importantly, because they're a Canadian-based company, we are looking forward to them triggering that option to purchase. The demographic has been very good to them. We've had a lot of positive feedback from them, so it is our hope that that trigger will be pulled somewhere in the future, and we look forward to that. That will really help us as a community. And then, in terms of new development coming in, and for those of you who haven't heard, I am a promoter of development, the right kind of development. We have Liberty Junction that is coming in, which is on the corner of our 137 in Milwaukee area. We adopted and approved their final plan coming forward. There'll be 80 attached single-family units. I'm very happy about the quality of the person that's going to be billing those. Pulte Homes, they have a great reputation. It's also, as a part of that area, there's going to be improved and expanded Wildberry parking. It's going to look a lot better on that corner. We welcome that. There's also a future retail lot that's part of that parcel, and we're going to have more buffering on the internal road. So part of that development is going to make a lot of improvements on the entryway into Libertyville, and so we're really, really, really happy about that. And now in terms of Innovation Park, our success story there is that we have over 80% of that leased. That is critical for us. Some of the tenants there are Medline, their customer care center, so they have up to 800 employees there, EV Box, Intermatic, Valent Biosciences, Novartis, and then some of the amenities of that 80% that's leased, our conference center, meeting rooms, game rooms, cafe, food hall, and fitness center. And that's about a $1.2 million square foot campus, so we're really happy to have 80% of that leased currently. Now, in terms of what's now opened and completed developments are the Infiniti dealership in Libertyville on South Milwaukee, the Tesla dealership that I mentioned that's on South Milwaukee Avenue, Encompass Health Rehabilitation Hospital, Winchester Road, US Highway 45, and then the La Villa Apartments. And if you have young kids or if you are a donut lover, we are proud to say that Doug Donuts is now a resident of Libertyville. And they opened, I would say about 8 days ago, and there are lines out of the place every day. So we're happy to have that. And the Joyful Gourmet, which is a more modern day version of Crate and Barrel, is right there off of Milwaukee Avenue. So in terms of filling vacancies and bringing back vibrance, we think we are on the road to do that. We're very happy about that, and we think that's our new brand and footprint there in Libertyville. Okay, so development's underway. Libertyville 45 Corporate Center, it's under permit review. The construction will start in late May, so we're on the heels of that. 4th Street and Broadway, there's 7-unit rental townhome development. That's under construction as we speak. The Hyundai dealership, it's under construction. As I said, it's part of the Napleton Chevrolet expansion there. So that is very, very good. That's underway for us, and we're happy about that. The Physicians Immediate Care on South Milwaukee Avenue, just north of Rockland, and that is the corridor of Libertyville in terms of our comprehensive plan that we're working on, which is South Milwaukee. We want to bring it up to the same vibrancy as we have in our C1 district downtown, so we think we're on the road to that. The Wood Spring Suites, which is on Peterson Road and Northwind Boulevard, that's a 122-room extended stay hotel. A permit's been issued and construction should be commencing soon, so we're very, very happy about that. And then one of the things that I just wanted to tout in terms of technology, because I'm also a tech aficionado, we have an interactive map, which is approved and proposed, and what's great about it is if you go on that map and click on the location, not only are you able to click on the link that will take you to the pending submittals that have been submitted to our Community Development Division, but you can also get more specs and information relative to the project and the parcel. And we think that is a plus for developers, brokers, and people that are looking to see what is going on with open land space in our community. We think not only is it good to have our economic development person pitching, we think it's great to have the technology background too as well. So you have an opportunity to do due diligence on your own, and we can direct brokers and people when we're trying to pitch something to those sites to see what's available in our community. So we definitely think that's a plus in terms of our interactive map. And then referencing again as part of our milestone, the High Five COVID-19 Relief Grant, the total of $170,000 in grants were awarded to our small businesses downtown in our C1 community. And those of you, and I know many of you here in the banking industry, you know, and I won't pretend, that those people who already had existing relationships with banks as business owners have the expertise of the bank to leverage, to navigate, to get grant and funding. But people who don't have those relationships or those resources have a more difficult time. And they were the ones that ultimately, even though they had a good business model footprint ended up with 0 when they filed applications. So what we feel great about in Libertyville is, while it might not have been in the millions, it still was something to help them keep their doors open. So those people that received nothing in the beginning, they were the first in line for eligibility with the High Five grant. And as I indicated, we awarded $170,000 in grants to our local small businesses, and we're very proud of that. And in terms of the number into that 170,000, there were 92 small businesses that benefited. Up to 2,000, starting from 500 in the floor, were granted to each, and it all assisted them with COVID-related expenses and helped them keep their doors open. So we're proud of that. And then also too, the breakout business sessions we talked about with our small businesses. The goal there was, as I said before, to obtain insight from the business community about business conditions to help inform the village board and commissions on how we could help them. So let me say this. You can't expect people to believe that you're vested in them if you're not willing to give them access to you and access in a way that you're having an informed discussion. So let me layer on top of that when I was installed on May 4th, I have 155 people on staff, and I met with every one of them individually for at least 30 minutes to find out what they thought, let them know they were valuable, and let them know they have access to me. And one of the things I said to them was, give me your top 10 list of the things that would make your job easier. May not be able to deliver it, but I certainly want to know about it. So we think we're going a long way in terms of partnership with small businesses. And then finally, our 2022 spring summer events. Main Street, first Friday month on the first Friday. Farmers Market, June to October. On Thursday, 7 a.m. to 1. Car Fun on 21, Lunch in the Park. Dessert Walk, Tour of Homes, Girls Night Out, Fall Fashion Show, Sidewalk Sales, Twilight Shuffle, September 4th, Libertyville Days, June 16th to the 19th, our fireworks on July 4th, our Dog Days of Summer for those of you like me who love those furry friends, July 7th through the 10th, and our Festival of Arts from August 6th to the 7th. And then just quickly give a shout out to our Deputy Administrator in terms of our Park Masters Plan program. We have done a lot in terms of park improvement. We developed a master plan in 2018, and since then we have dedicated improvements and equipment at Adler Playground in 2020, Charles Brown Playground in 2021, 2021 Nicholas Dowden Park Master Plan, and we still have a grant application pending on that. And then we have Green Tree Playground, where we just installed new equipment, and I was there, so that's great. And then going forward into 2023, we have the Paul Neal Park Playground plan that's on the horizon. And then quickly, the 911 consolidation, which Libertyville is a part of and all your neighboring communities are part of. This is an excellent indication of how efficient utilization of resources can work better to benefit all the communities in terms of the 911 Lake County consolidation. So for all of you in those communities, please support the representatives as part of that. And then I know some of you might have seen the article of where there was a $30 million grant initiative to address flooding in Lake County. Libertyville is happy to say that we received $7.6 million of that pie. And so it is going to help us with the Rockland Road Corridor Flood Reduction Project, the Highlands Subdivision Phase 1 Flood Reduction Project. So that $7.6 million is going to definitely be utilized. In terms of road rehabilitation, since 2019, we've partnered with our villages, other villages, Mundelein, Vernon Hills, and Libertyville for joint bidding for roadways. And so for me, this illustrates the financial benefit of partnership because I led the Streets Committee when we had the referendum, and our residents were kind enough to approve that in 2012, but that funding only allowed us to do 40% of our road inventory, leaving us with 60%. So because of the collaboration between the Village of Mundelein, Mayor Lentz, Vernon Hills, and Libertyville Township, and the joint bidding, we were still able to get good rates in order to complete the rest of our inventory. So we thank all of you for that collaboration, and we would just like to say, too, that in terms of technology and tools to get access to our village and our community, we have Facebook. We're on Facebook. We have Instagram, Nextdoor, which is not my favorite, emails, and Village Views, because they're always so critical of mayors, so I try to stay away from that. Website, our village website, and public meetings, Code Red, LinkedIn, and Twitter. So I thank you for your time and attention. I thank all the mayors for all that they're going through, and I offer up publicly that if you ever want to collaborate with me or talk about anything we can do in the future, I'm very, very receptive to that. And thank you for your time and attention today. And at the end, we'll take any questions. Thank you.
Thanks, Donna, very much. Appreciate it.